here it is, the Hydroluxe 24 setting, new number 1433 shower head. That focuses. This is the box that comes in from Amazon. It's just a brown box, nothing special. We're going to quickly take a look at the insides. So I've already kind of opened it, as you can see, but this Hydroluxe 24 setting is also known as the Hotel Spa Ultra Luxury Combination 3-Way Showers. So what we have here, instructions, pretty straightforward. Take a look at the box here. So we got some shower heads. Here is the stationary shower head. Pretty nice plastic finish. Plastic joint here, a little stiff, but I'm sure once this gets used it will be a little easier to move around, but it feels pretty good. And then we have the settings. I like the click feature. If you listen for that. Sounds pretty good. Next one up. Got the shower head that you can hold. Again, plastic. But overall, hey, not looking for much for the cost. And then we got this connector, basically connecting all the devices, connecting it to the shower head. Plastic again. Go ahead and open that. What was nice is I actually bought on the side some Teflon tape. Sorry for the clock. But here's the connector. And then what was nice is this little Teflon tape that you'll use to seal the threads so you don't get any leaking. And then as well we have a little plastic, kind of cheap plastic clip. But again, it was 24 bucks for all this. I'm just looking for a better shower head than I currently have. So this should do based on the reviews. And then we have the hose, again, for the attachment that I showed earlier. Connect that, and then I can pull this hose off. So here are all the parts. Again, pretty well packaged. Don't need anything fancy. That should keep the cost low without having any advertisement on the package. Keep it simple. So let's go ahead and install it. Alright, so I'm just going to take apart this old shower head. It's kind of grimy and nasty. Obviously, just make sure the water is off. And I'm just going to twirl this guy off here. Let it leak for a tiny bit. Make sure everything's tightened up. And that should do it. I just got to get this ring off here, so let me put this aside. And let's see if I can get this off. I might need some channel locks. Be right back. Alright guys, some channel locks. Alright, so that's as easy as that, getting the previous one off. Now to put the new one on. Alright, per the instructions, remove the old shower head. Shower head has been removed. Screw the lock nut with single inner thread facing you onto shower arm. So, here is the thread. It's threaded on here on this side, but not on this side. So we're going to have the threaded part facing out. And it says put on but do not tighten. So we kind of screw it on here. It will stop when it gets to the back. But we'll leave it at that for now, and we'll go on to step 3. So prior to the next step, I'm actually going to use plumber's tape. It actually doesn't recommend using it unless there's a leak. However, just for safe reasons, I'm going to use this plumber's tape on this shower head here. So I'm just going to kind of get it started. Get it tied, put enough layers on it to where it would stop any potential leaks. Get a few good wraps in there. Now I'm wrapping it this direction, so when I tighten down the water diverter, which is that main piece, it will tighten the plumber's tape and not loosen the plumber's tape. So that's tightened on. So now what it asked me to do is install the diverter, which is this guy here. And we're just going to kind of put it on and make sure this hose is in a stopped position facing down. So go ahead and screw this bad boy in. See where it stops at. If it goes all the way around again, I don't want to break it. Again, it's plastic, so you want to be careful that you don't go too far. I don't know if I want to go any further. It looks like it might go around again. I think one more time should do. Again, be very careful. Maybe that was maybe too far, but let's see. That might be okay. So that is step 3/4. Actually, step 3. So let's move on to step 4. Okay, one additional step. I loosen this a tiny bit, just one rotation, and then you take this lock nut that you originally put down and you tighten this back down into it so it locks it in place so this can't move. So that's done, everything's pretty firm. We have this back outlet pointing down. So now we request in step 4 to screw shower head with its washer in place. Now the shower head already has a washer there, so I'm just going to go ahead and screw it in place as mentioned. Now it does mention not to use any plumber's tape in this section, so I will go by their words and not use plumber's tape. Let me see if I can get this screwed on here. Here it goes. So snug, but not too snug. Again, it is plastic, so I don't want to over tighten anything. Pan tight should be good. And see, it moves around pretty good too, so that's looking pretty good. Just make sure everything's good and solid on there. So that is step 4. Let's move on to step 5. Alright, so step 5 is to test the connection, I guess, before putting the hose on. So I'm going to go ahead and turn on the shower, tilt this down a little bit, and hopefully I don't get super wet. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Got nice flow. Much better than the previous one. The previous one that I had on here, again, was garbage and old and trash. But everything looks to be pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and switch modes. There you go. There's like a massage. That's a mist. That was pretty nice. Might have to use this one later. Well, you can see it's a little loose. I'm trying to do this with one hand and the whole thing's turning, and now it's leaking out the back. So let me go ahead and fix that, and I'll be right back. Alright, and we're back. So, there was a little leak here on the back. What I ended up doing is just screwing this whole piece off, including the lock nut, taking plumber's tape and wrapping the entire thread on the shower head, putting the lock nut back in, putting this back on, and although I said it's plastic, I did use a wrench here, just barely, just to tighten this back so this wouldn't move constantly when trying to adjust this lever here. So no leaking after doing the entire plumber's tape on the threads up here, replacing the lock nut, putting it back, and then putting this back on. So now we're going to go to connecting the hose and the handled shower head. Alright, it's time to add the shower hose and the hand shower. So the hose itself that I'm showing here came with 2 washers, one for each hole here. So I'm going to go ahead and just put one washer there, go ahead and connect this. Again, it's all plastic connections. I'm going to go ahead and tighten it, but not too tight, tight enough. And then let me grab the other washer here. Again, they give you 3 total. One's a spare. So here's the second washer. Put this guy in, and I'm going to go ahead and connect this to the bottom. Give that a moment to line up. There we go. So again, hand tight as it is plastic. That seems pretty tight. It's pretty long. I mean, this is this typical shower, and I could pretty much extend this all the way to the other end of the shower without issue. So one thing they have here, here's the holder. They did mention if it's too small or tight, there's a screw. Let me find the screw here. There's a screw on the inside here that will loosen this up. So if you, let's say, or tighten it up. So let's say if you place this here and let go, and this falls gently, you can actually, in here, tighten this screw so this maintains. So, sits pretty well, I think, like that. And that looks to do it. Here's the setup. Looks pretty nice, much cleaner than what I had in there previously. Let me go ahead and test it all out. And here's a little switch that should switch from one shower head to the other. Again, has a nice click to it. Let me see if it does go all the way around. So let me go ahead and turn it on and let's try it out. So that one's just the bottom. There's the top. Top is pretty free-flowing, kind of like a shower rainfall. Everything looks pretty good. Let me click this one over. Didn't do anything. Oh, there we go. So that is either off or a drizzle. I don't know what that's about. I do have to tighten that screw. It's falling pretty easily here. Let me tighten it up again here. Okay, so that's got kind of a center action going. Here's the mister again. Mister's kind of cool. That one works pretty well. So mister works pretty well, like that one. This team's kind of lazy, and as you can see, it's not that great. So that might be not fantastic to use. This one seems to be okay. Just a shower. So this one seems like a less powerful version. Let's turn up the. Let's see if this makes any difference. Let me turn this. And put everything onto this one. Okay, so that's a lot better, just this one. Again, let's try it. So that switch doesn't really do anything. This one, again, still kind of crappy, to be honest. Looks like one of the holes here, something's not pushing out all the way. Let's go to the mister. Again, the mister is awesome. This thing looks like it's doing what it needs to do. So again, pretty powerful. When you have it just by itself, again, turn this. Just goes to the bottom shower. And again, that one's pretty powerful. Has a different mode. That one works as it should. And the mister, again, pretty awesome feature. And no leaks and drippage down here. But that's no big deal. A lot better again than what I had prior. So for 24 bucks, this is what you get. 24 bucks isn't bad if you're trying to replace something that barely had anything going for it and was old and looked terrible. So 24 bucks from Amazon. And if you have any questions, let me know. Thanks. Bye.